The loudest person in the room isn't winning, they're reacting. The strongest people don't fight with noise, they win with silence. In a world addicted to opinions, reactions, and validation, your power lies in restraint, in the ability to stay calm, quiet, and controlled when everyone else loses themselves. This audiobook is about mastering emotional silence, the kind that speaks louder than anger, louder than fear, louder than words. You're about to learn how to win every mental battle without ever raising your voice.
Your reactions feed the chaos. Every time you respond emotionally, you give away your power. That's the truth most people never face. The world doesn't run on logic anymore. It runs on reaction. People don't think, they respond. They don't observe, they absorb. And every time you react without awareness, you trade your control for a moment of emotional release. You've seen it, online, at work, in relationships. Someone says one thing, and instantly the other person explodes. They type, they rant, they shout, and what happens? They lose respect, they lose leverage, they lose control. Here's the rule. The moment you react, you've already lost. The strong don't react. They study. They observe. They let the chaos unfold, and then they move when it matters. That's emotional mastery. That's strategic silence. When you're reactive, you're predictable, and predictability makes you weak. People can control you, manipulate you, push your buttons, because you show them exactly where they are. The second they know how to make you angry, they own you. But when you learn to pause, everything changes. The pause is power. The breath is awareness. In that moment of stillness, you separate yourself from the noise. That's the key. You create distance between what happened and what it means. You stop being part of the chaos, and you start watching it like an observer. Say it out loud. Observe. Don't absorb. That's your mantra. Think of your mind like a lake. When you react, you stir the water. It becomes muddy, chaotic, unclear. You can't see anything. But when you stay still, when you let the ripples fade, the reflection returns. Clarity comes back. And from clarity, you act with precision. Most people act from emotion. You're going to act from awareness. You don't need to rush. You don't need to respond to every attack, every comment, every insult. That's ego. That's insecurity. Real power doesn't announce itself. It waits. It studies. It chooses its moment. You don't need their permission to be calm. You don't need their apology to be at peace. You choose your peace. You own your silence. That's what separates the ordinary from the disciplined. The world trains you to be reactive. Social media thrives on it. Politics feeds on it. People who can't control their emotions are being controlled by everything around them. But you're going to reverse the pattern. From now on, every time you feel triggered, you'll stop. You'll pause. You'll breathe. You'll ask, what am I about to give away if I react? The answer will always be the same. Your focus, your energy, your composure. So don't give it away. You have a choice. That's the key. You're not a slave to impulse. You're a student of control. And observation is your new discipline. Start with this exercise. The next time someone argues with you, don't defend, don't explain, don't react. Listen, watch, see the energy they bring, and choose not to mirror it.
Because when you stay calm while others lose control, you automatically win. That's not weakness. That's command. In your relationships, when someone pushes your limits, don't explode. Detach for a moment. Think, what's really happening here? What are they trying to get from me? You'll see the manipulation immediately. And at work, when someone challenges you, insults you, or questions your value, don't rush to prove them wrong. Stay silent. Let your results speak later. That's how professionals move. That's how the powerful stay powerful. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people would rather be loud than be in control. They confuse emotion with strength. They think yelling means power. It doesn't. It means they've already lost control of themselves. You don't need volume, you need composure. You don't need validation, you need mastery. Repeat that. You don't need validation, you need mastery. Every time you react, you prove that someone else can control your emotions. Every time you stay silent, you prove that no one can. That's the real test of strength. Not how loud you can be, but how calm you can stay. You're not here to impress people with emotion. You're here to impress yourself with discipline. Because when you master your reactions, you master your reality. That's not a metaphor. That's a law. You can't control other people. You can't control the world. But you can always control yourself. And when you control yourself, you control what the world can take from you. It's not about suppression. It's about direction. You don't bury your feelings. You channel them. Anger becomes focus. Fear becomes fuel. Doubt becomes awareness. That's how you transmute emotion into strength. Let's be clear. Silence isn't weakness. It's strategy. It's the decision to operate on your terms, not theirs. The decision to stay unbothered, unshaken, unmoved. You're not avoiding confrontation. You're mastering it by choosing when and how to engage. That's what emotionally disciplined people do. They don't react to every spark. They wait for the right fire. So from now on, before you speak, pause. Before you respond, breathe. Before you judge, observe. That's the process. That's the training. That's the discipline. Every day, every situation, every conversation, another chance to practice restraint. You're not chasing control of others anymore. You're mastering control of yourself. That's real power. When you start observing instead of reacting, the world slows down. You start noticing details others miss: tone, energy, motive. You begin to see not just what people say, but why they say it. That's awareness. That's insight. That's advantage. And the more you see, the less you need to speak. That's why the powerful stay quiet. They already understand the game. Everyone else is playing checkers. You're playing chess, because you stopped reacting and you started observing. Remember this. It's not about what happens. It's about how silent you stay while it happens. That's the measure of your growth. You've just learned the first law of emotional control: observation over reaction. You've learned that silence is a weapon, not a weakness. You've learned that emotional neutrality isn't detachment, it's discipline. Carry this rule with you everywhere. Observe, don't absorb. Now you've mastered the art of stillness under pressure. But self-control is only the beginning. Because silence without discipline is empty. You must now learn how to channel that silence into power, how to turn your calm into command. You mastered your reactions. Now, let's talk about control itself.